I address a different aspect of the journey of self-actualization as it relates to the month we're in. I like to fit the spiritual message into the season because the cycles of nature just so beautifully portray the whole archetypal dance between light and dark, life and death, yin and yang, and all together create a template for the whole of human experience, with each season lending itself to a different kind of spiritual work and personal growth. So here we are in May, and this month of mid-spring is all about growing. It's when light, warmth, and vegetation are all on the rise. And the essence of May really can be captured in the image of plants reaching toward the sun at that stage just before they tumble over, pulled down by the weight of their own foliage and abundant growth. In the season's never-ending interplay of light and dark, now is when light is most on the rise. It's not at its peak, which comes next month with the summer solstice, but it's growing stronger every day. And as a personal metaphor for growth, May embodies the energy, the aliveness, and passion of reaching for the heavens and pursuing our dreams. So if there's something you've wanted to do, but you just never seem to find the time or energy for it, now's the time. However, passion alone isn't enough to bring our dreams to life. What makes the difference between exuberant, undirected bursts of energy and productive manifestation is will. Passion without will is like a tomato plant that's left to grow like a weed without a stake. There may be tomatoes, but they're all on the ground, they're rotting, they're buggy. Will is our power to get the job done, to put dreams into action and make our creativity truly productive. And it's not to be confused with self-discipline, which is the force we need to exert to keep ourselves doing those things that we really don't want to do. Self-discipline becomes necessary when we're acting on what we believe we should do, rather than on what our heart wants. Self-discipline is fueled by our fear, and we act because we're afraid of what will happen if we don't. And by contrast, will is fueled by love. It's the energy we put behind things we're passionate about. And when we're pursuing our dreams, we may experience challenges or feel resistance, but the energy to push through comes more readily. We handle the boring chores and obstacles of life more easily when they're steps toward our heartfelt desires. While the energy of willpower in service to our dreams is easier to call up than self-discipline toward those things we have no passion for, will still needs to be developed. It's like a muscle. If we don't exercise it, it becomes weak. And when we seldom use our will, it's not there when we need it. Much the same way as when we seldom exercise our bodies, we find even the simplest exertion leaving us breathless. I think of will as having three distinct and equally important components. And the first is courage. And courage includes obvious acts of heroism and bold action in the face of real or perceived danger. But it comes into play in more subtle ways as well. Any new venture requires a step beyond what we know, and consequently a step out of our comfort zone. For example, if you haven't exercised in 20 years, going to the gym for the first time can be a courageous act. Now, the second aspect of will is strength. This is the willingness to work hard at something, to draw upon all of our resources and apply ourselves fully to the task. No matter how much courage it may have taken to join the gym, that's not enough. We need to actually get on the equipment and give it our best until we've applied all of our physical strength and emotional fortitude. Now last, but far from least, comes commitment. This is where, after courageously joining the gym and working out ferociously, using all of our strength, we come back and do it again, and again, and again. Commitment is the willingness to follow through on our intentions and act with consistency, even when it's become a little boring. We do that because we know it's in service to our highest aspirations. And commitment lacks the high energy of applying strength or the adrenaline rush of courage, but without it, the tremendous energy expenditure of those first two can wind up being all for nothing. Now, most of us are better at one of these three than the others. And we may be comfortable with applying all three in certain contexts. You know, a firefighter, for example, who exhibits obvious courage in his job may quiver in fear when it comes to taking emotional risks. Or people who are excellent at keeping their commitments to others may not be able to summon the energy to keep the ones they make to themselves. The more we develop an over-reliance on our comfortable strengths, the more we limit ourselves and become weak in other areas. And just as will becomes weak when not used, the good news is that we can grow it stronger with practice. So if you have a special dream, why not make now the time to grow it? Offer a small effort, and then let the energy of the season carry you higher. And here's a few suggestions to get you started. Start by identifying your most passionate goal, the thing you want the most in your life. And think of one step you could take toward it that would in some way push you out of your comfort zone and require some courage. And next, think of something you could do in service to this goal that would test your strength, that would take some real effort on your part, perhaps require that you learn some new skills. And then finally, think of one small action you could take every day for a month toward furthering your dream. Something you're willing to do religiously, even when you don't really feel like it, even when it's become boring. So, now of course it's time to get moving. And if this goal is truly something dear to your heart, consider taking on this challenge and discover for yourself how far passion and will combined can take you. So as always, I love to hear your comments on all of this. And if you write to me at lynn@lynnwoodland.com, I'll send you a free download of a class I taught on creating prosperity in our changing times. Check out my website. You can find all kinds of free downloads and recorded meditations. You can go on there and leave a request for free distance healing. And there's lots of other things to play with on my website. Now, for a deeper dive into this kind of work that we're doing here in this blog, check out my year-long Miracles course. It's a comprehensive coaching program of online materials, webinars, one-to-one coaching, and more. So thank you all for being with me, and until next month, namaste.